Japan hasn't fought in a war since World War II. After surrendering to the Allied forces in the September of 1945, Japan signed peace treaties with the United States and the United Kingdom. But the third Allied nation refused to sign a peace deal with Japan. The Soviet Union and Japan did not agree on matters of territorial sovereignty. And as Tokyo got closer to Washington, Moscow decided against improving ties with its southeastern neighbor. Technically, Russia and Japan are still at war. While no shots have been fired, territorial disputes involving the Kuril Islands persist. And they're only becoming riskier as Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping join hands. In 2022, Japan sanctioned Russia after the invasion of Ukraine. Ties between the two nations have grown frostier. Diplomatic showdowns have become frequent, and so have military maneuvers. In the last week of September, a Russian IL-38 Reconnaissance aircraft violated Japanese airspace north of the Rebun Island. Japanese F-15 and F-35 jets were scrambled. The Russian aircraft was intercepted and diverted further north towards Japan's Kuril Islands. After ignoring radio warnings, the Japanese fighter jets fired flares in front of the Russian aircraft, forcing it to turn away and head back into Russian airspace.
We confirm that between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. today, a Russian IL-38 patrol aircraft violated our airspace over our territorial waters north of Rebun Island, Hokkaido, on 3 occasions. In response, the Self-Defense Forces responded by launching F-15 and F-35 fighter jets of its Northern Air Command unit on an emergency basis and sent out warnings by using flares, in addition to radio warnings and alerts. The Self-Defense Forces will continue to monitor with strong interest the military movements of Russia in the airspace around our country and will be vigilant in its surveillance.
It's not just Russia that's testing Japan. Putin's no-limits friend Xi Jinping has also been ordering his troops to conduct similar violations. Almost a month before the Russian airspace intrusion, China did the same thing in southern Japan. A Chinese Y-9 surveillance plane violated the airspace over Japan's Danjo Islands for about 2 minutes, until it was driven out by Japanese interceptors. 2 weeks after the airspace violation, the Chinese Liaoning aircraft carrier also entered Japanese waters, drawing a stern response from Tokyo.
This is the first time that a Chinese Navy aircraft carrier, including the Liaoning, has entered our contiguous waters. These circumstances are totally unacceptable from the perspective of our national and regional security environment, and we have expressed our grave concerns to China through diplomatic channels.
However, Beijing claims that its aircraft carrier was simply adhering to Chinese law.
I suggest you refer to the competent authorities of China. I would like to emphasize here that China's relevant activities are in line with China's domestic law as well as international law.
Coordinated military posturing has become a new trend in Russia-China relations. And it's not just Japan that they're daring. More and more Russian and Chinese drills have reached America's back door. The US state of Alaska has a history with Russia. Alaska was established as the first Russian colony in 1784. It gave Russians access across the Bering Sea and into North America. But the Americans bought Alaska in 1867. And declared it a state in 1959. Since then, Alaska has been made into a fortress. Elmendorf serves as the largest airbase in the state, and America often hosts allied countries for winter warfare training in Alaska. Given its importance, Russia and China have begun expanding their drills closer to Alaska. In August, Russian and Chinese nuclear-capable bombers, accompanied by fighter jets, almost violated Alaska's airspace. This was the first time that Moscow and Beijing jointly poked Washington in its backyard. And it didn't stop there. Last week, Russian and Chinese warships conducted live-fire drills in the Bering Sea, within sight of American forces in Alaska. Then, Putin again sent 4 nuclear-capable bombers near the Alaskan coast, drawing a scramble from American F-16 aggressors. During that intercept, a Russian Su-35 performed a daring maneuver as it cut across the American F-16's nose. This Top Gun-style showmanship was part of an exercise. Russia and China have conducted 105 joint drills this year, which is now more than all the drills conducted by other militaries combined in 2024. China and Russia have kicked off a 6-week-long naval and air exercise. Participating warships left the dock in eastern Russia and made their way east. Fighter planes and long-range bombers gave air cover. The two countries are calling it the second phase of the year. The Northern Interaction 2024 is being held in the Sea of Japan, the Sea of Okhotsk, and the Bering Sea. The exercise includes joint air defense, anti-submarine warfare, naval operations in wartime formations, and live-fire exercises. Putin and Xi want their troops to become familiar with each other, and it's happening in real time.
The Northern Interaction 2024 drills are a major exercise project determined according to an annual schedule and mutual consensus between China and Russia. Over the past few days, we have summarized and exchanged experience with the Russian side on the first phase of the exercise, and conducted comprehensive consultations on the details of forces coordination and the actual use of weapons for the second phase, laying a solid foundation for the following force maneuver.
The exercise aims at deepening the China-Russia comprehensive strategic partnership of coordination in the new era. It is an important action for China and Russia to jointly safeguard the security of maritime and air strategic passages. It plays a positive role in maintaining stability in Northeast Asia.
Beijing says that its growing relations with Moscow are meant to stabilize the region and de-escalate tensions.
The important thing is to make persistent efforts for de-escalation. Commit to seeking solutions through dialogue and consultation. Realize a transition from the armistice to a peace mechanism and safeguard peace and stability on the peninsula. China is deeply aware that Asia needs stability and development, and opposes division and conflict as an important origin of human civilization and a key engine of global growth.
However, these joint drills have alarmed Japan and its allies, particularly the United States. Washington says that Putin and Xi are projecting power against Alaska and the US homeland. However, Russia and China say that they are adhering to international laws and are conducting drills in open seas that are not aimed at any third parties. For years, America and its NATO allies have conducted drills near Russian and Chinese waters, but this time, Putin and Xi are turning the game around.